Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. Hey Teresa, hey Jake, thanks for popping in. I messed up a little bit as you saw with the post with the time with Heather, so she will be with us shortly. And this is crazy because I am looking for Sebrova. Did I put I even typed her name in wrong. It's Sebrova. So let me type in. This is her correct name. Oh, my brain has been all over. And it's only Tuesday. Oh, goodness gracious. So, how's everybody doing? Let me pull up this here. Busy, busy day. My friend Christine, who I met when we were both, 28, 27, 28. Well, she moved to Binghamton. And, after she got married, well, I was in Arizona. So, once a year she comes up for the 4th of July weekend. So that's my one time once a year I get to see my friend Christine. And we had lunch today. We went to this really cool little metaphysical shop in Clarence, New York, not far from me, called the Dragonfly. Hi, Ron. I see you. And Ron, I haven't heard back from you yet, but I did send you the thumbnail and the link for tomorrow night because Ron's going to be my guest for the first time on my channel tomorrow. So I haven't heard back from you, Ron. So make sure you check your email because I do have the link in the thumbnail for you. So let me just get a little bit on myself settled here. I confused the time for, uh, let's just say time is not on my side. um, So yeah, I misjudged the time difference, and Heather's actually 2 hours behind me instead of one. So she'll pop in as soon as she can. And in the meantime, I thought I would say hello to everybody, see how everybody's week is going. And I see James. See, wow, James, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Heather will be with us. Oh, there she is. I told her she could relax and take her time. Okay. There's the star right there.
Crazy
uh,
hair.
I was just telling everybody I screwed up.
It's okay. It happens
That's
with
why I
all the
was
live
just
streams that we do and stuff like that.
I don't know why I keep numbers, time, not on my side. So
But sure, we don't.
I see we got Flowing. Hi Flowing. It's been a while.
I guess I do need that on. Okay. Sorry.
So hi Nancy. So give Heather a chance to breathe and relax. Give her a chance to.
I was running around like a crazy person.
I know, so I told you we would just be chatting, seeing what everybody's up to, and showing off the new deck. And that's why I said just take your time. And here, let me. I hate the side by side like that. There we go. That's better. Um, and then Kristen Louise is here, and just chill. It's been a long day. My
I haven't
friend
been
is,
sleeping,
huh?
so I haven't been sleeping.
Oh, how
I
come?
woke up at like 4 a.m. this morning and I went to bed at midnight.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I took a nap, but that's why I was like, oh, it's been
Yeah.
crazy. It's been crazy. Like I said, I haven't even had a chance to like tell you what's been going on. I had a problem with my bank where I had some fraudulent charge on there. So I've
Oh
had
my
to
goodness.
cancel my cards
Jeez.
and get all that done. It took me 4 days, so it wiped me. It's just like, oh, what is going on, dude? But I guess they've been seeing like a large increase in like
Hmm.
fraudulent activity going on. There's so much scamming and scheming
Oh
going
yeah.
on right now.
People can actually walk by you with machines and scan your cards through your wallet.
Oh wow.
So that's why they have these wallets now that are supposed to be able to protect, that kind of theft. I
I
don't know.
think
And
mine does. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. And it was a company too.
a
So I was
company
like,
got a hold
yeah, it
of.
was a company, and I was like, what? Because I had them. Like I said, I had to cancel the card, file fraudulent charge. It was a hassle, but I got it fixed. So
Yeah, I've been getting people watch your text messages. I have been getting
yep,
on and off for the past few months. M&T saying your account has been frozen due
yep,
to suspicious, and I'm like, I don't have an M&T account. You know, I'm
yep.
not tapping on this link. Delete.
Just be
You
careful
know
what links you're clicking on. Like even on
exactly.
YouTube, they have like the things that are at the bottom. If you accidentally click, it goes to like a business, and it was asking me for some information. I was like, "What is this?"
Yep. No. No.
It's
Mm-mm.
just ridiculous. You click on the wrong thing, anything. Just be careful.
Yeah. So just breathe. It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
I
I
know
miss.
it's better forever. So, what
Yeah.
was the new deck you got? You got to show me. I got to
Well,
see.
I've been telling myself no more decks because I keep seeing decks that I want, and I was after my because I was telling everybody my friend Christine, her and I met when we were in our late 20s because she's a native of Akron, which wasn't far from where I was living, and so after I left for Arizona, she got married and moved to Binghamton in New York. So once a month she comes, well, not once a month, once a year she comes up for the fourth weekend to see her mom. Her dad passed away last summer, so but she still comes up every fourth, and so it's like I have 1 week for us to find a day where everyone's like, "Oh, I want to see you on this day. I want to see you on that day." So today was my day with her, and we went
Oh,
to a cute little metaphysical shop that's also a part salon. And then after that, we went and had lunch, and then we went to Spot Coffee, and it was so nice just to be able to have just me and her because the last couple of times, I'm not at the house with the family around, so it was so nice. And when we were done, I was like, I don't want to go home yet. So on the way home, I stopped at Barnes and Noble. Oh, big mistake.
yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll just go see what kind of cards they have because there's a deck that Ron uses called the Secret Language of Light that I've been eyeing for a while. I want to see if they had it. They didn't have it there. And then there was another one that Sharon and Deanne, Shield Maiden, uses. I can't think of the name of the deck, but I would know it if I saw the cover. And so I'm like, oh, that's not there. But then this one deck popped out at me, and I was like, unshakable inner peace cards. I'm like, I was going to bypass it. And I'm like, and I went, well, I'll just look for the hell of it. I'll look on the back, and I went, oh, and so I grabbed the deck, sat down, pulled up Pinterest and stuff, and found the pictures, and they really are. Here, let me just grab a couple here. They have this beautiful like pink color. They got some crystals in it, and they're
Ooh,
basically like this one here says the universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take today? So they're positive, you know. This one's a beautiful one too. This is not your practice life. Decide and listening to your inner voice, and just a lot of beautiful um,
beautiful.
cards in these beautiful like pinkish tones, and they're kind of like the Rebecca Campbell ones with the Heal Your Light and all, but just some really. Oh, and I love this one with all the pinks in it. Even her hair is pink.
Oh, I
So
like that. It's very beautiful. They're very beautiful.
yes, and I was like, ooh, and this one here, that's beautiful. And the
I just
mountains
have
are
to like
crystals.
laugh because I've noticed, like, you know how a guy will look at a girl and he's like, ooh, like that. I'm like that with cards.
Yeah, I was like, oh wait a minute, bring those back, bring those back. So I thought, even though some of at least for the lady that I chose today, it was wartime, and whatnot. I still think that I think these cards could work. I'm kind of vibing them for tonight. So definitely going to use them for Ron. Ron's going to be my guest for the first time tomorrow evening on my
Say
channel.
that.
So, unconditional love and I have these beautiful pink cards and everything. Oh, that's just going to be,
Yes,
perfect.
you're
So,
beautiful.
and then I bought myself a little watercolor field kit, with the pans and then a mix little palette to it. So, because yeah, the Barnes and Noble, they completely gutted their music and their DVD section because everything's streaming now.
Hmm.
And so they have a tiny, like instead of this one big huge section in the back of the store, it's like this little like in between space where here's a couple of shelves for videos, here's a couple spots for CDs, and here's some records, vinyl, and record players, and that's it. So, um, but oh, they got some like they're getting like games in now from like Firefly and everything, puzzles. And I looked around the whole section. I'm like, where's the Charmed, the original, not the fake Charm.
Yeah,
That's how.
not the
So
alternative. You want the
no,
real thing.
I want the real thing, baby. So and nothing with
That's so
X Files.
funny.
I was like, damn, where's the X Files stuff too? So, but I
Barnes& Noble's
actually,
got some good stuff. Like they have a huge section here. It's like all nothing but vinyl records, and they have books, of course, and games, like all
mm,
streaming game stuff now. And their cards are actually behind the counter, so I don't know if they've had issues. They won't even let you look at them.
you
You have
know
to
what?
like look
I
from
think
the
it's
counter.
because of it being Utah,
Yeah,
because
probably.
here everything's all right now. The tarot, the paranormal, the Wicca, the everything is right up front of the store. It's the
Oh
section that
wow.
you got, nonfiction, and before you used to have to kind of go off to the side, to find this, and they're like, no, it's up at the front of the store. And I'm like, really? So I think it has a lot to do with location, and
Yeah.
what
Well, we have a lot of metaphysical shops here. Like you'd be shocked. I didn't even know there was that many in Utah. But yeah, I got these at Barnes and Nobles, and they're dice.
Oh, I didn't see those are cool. Yeah, I'm looking for things like that.
They're and it says Gemini on it, which is funny. They have like all these different shaped dice. They had zodiac ones too, like different zodiac ones, which were cool. They have
Well,
some cool stuff.
I'm glad you had family over, Ron. Oh, from the US all weekend. Oh, isn't it nice when they leave and it's all nice and quiet in your own place? Oh, that's how it was for us on Monday, or is it no Sunday? My sister had a cookout. Uh, I have family members who do not think like I do. They're more they lean towards more of the red side
Yeah.
thinking, except for my sister. But it was like at one point, Shannon and I were ready to go home.
Uh-oh.
And I think my sister, they had a cookout and everything. And I got to jump in her pool for a little bit, their pool. But it's so nice when you don't, for me, for Shannon and I, we didn't want human kids. We didn't want all that noise and stuff. And it was so nice to come home and just open the door, have our babies like look up from their, oh hi, you're home. You have anything for us? No, all right, and they go back down with their pets.
Do you just have cats?
Yep, my two fur
Okay. I couldn't
babies.
remember if you had a dog too or not.
Oh, I had two babies, but they're in heaven now. So okay,
Yeah,
let's
so are
see.
mine.
Ron, what are you trying to? Oh, trying to say. I see that, Gina. I get it. So, his family from the U.S. were Trump voters. Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. It's hard. I live in a very red area.
So do I.
It's like, why can't I be in the real blue? You know?
Yep. Makes me want to move to Seattle and Oregon, that area.
Yeah. Ooh, who's talking about happy cake and pie? Wait a minute, what is
Cake
this
and pie.
business? Happy cake and pie? Oh, Jake had something to say about Oracle decks. Oh, I see, because some of them were a little too
Happy.
happy.
You going to like
Fake
them
pie
more.
pie. See, I'm tending to be more towards the Oracle because I like looking at things for interpretation and not exact, like regular Rider Smith Basic Tarot. So with me, the oracles are much more open to interpretation. But there are some tarot decks now that I look at from a more oracle perspective, where there's
I do
more
too.
room for. And I know a lot of people like the Light Seer deck for that. I
Light
know it's one of
speakers.
Ron's favorite decks.
Yeah. Sorry, my
And
hair is like crazy.
the Muse Tarot, for me, I like to look at it as an oracle mainly. But I do have a few tarots for certain types of questions. But um, yeah, I like being able to interpret and intuit, and I'm able
Mm.
to do that a lot from the oracle. And I actually, now that I'm learning Canva, I'm I'm starting to import my artwork and looking at making ideas for my own oracle deck
Mm-hmm.
with my artwork. So it's going to take about, probably the whole year to work on that. But everyone keeps saying, "Well, you're going to do it. Are you going to do it?" Yeah, I've got like 4 decades of artwork, to go through, you know, and a lot of it's on paper and stuff. So it's taken me a while to go through and process, and then try to incorporate everything that the new stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Lots of food, cooking, kitchen. Oh, but I bet you it was yummy food, Ron. I bet you you're an excellent cook.
Let's see. I got this one. I should show you this one. Have you seen this one?
Um,
Other way.
I don't know
It's
because
Orion's Animal Tarot, silver gilded edges.
oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And the
Beautiful deck.
cardstock looks nice. Yes.
It's not too shiny, so I can still use the ring light too, which is lovely.
I was all about like getting it, making sure that I had an animal deck when I first started out, and I still have the original Jamie Sam's, the medicine cards. And I love animals. Animals are like my world, but when it comes to reading with tarot cards and oracle cards with them, I don't connect.
I love them. I'm not. I'm more of an
Very
oracle
weird.
person too. Like that's really. You can use these as like an oracle as well,
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that scarab. Oh my god, that's
right?
beautiful.
That's one of my favorite cards. I should like show you here. Let's see. These cards are just stunning. I want to make sure you can like see it. Okay, the Empress, for example, the
Oh
Black
wow.
Swan
I thought that was a crane.
or a crane. Sorry, a black crane.
Oh yeah, we have some of those around here. I saw them. Yeah, and Floyd says those are beautiful.
I did a deck review on these on my channel. So if you want to see the whole deck, I do show every card.
Okay. I have just been getting hit with, especially, and we're not getting into politics here, but just with everything with the past week or so, I have not been watching any of my regular things that I watch because I know that a lot that's going to be brought up. And for me, I need to handle my energy right now with how it's affecting me. And I can't get into videos or live reads and things if I know there's going to be politics. Because right now, me just trying to keep myself grounded and my mental health in place with everything going on in the world, I've been like really careful of what I've been watching. But I'm definitely going to look out for your review on that. Those cards look beautiful.
It's already up.
Definitely
So
will look at it.
I'm been the same way. I'm very careful about who I tune into, and usually the mornings is when I watch stuff, and then I don't watch anything the rest of the day most of the time. Like you'll see them every once in a while, but not very often.
I think the only one that I tap into now are Sundays when Scott and Nancy Jean get on, because Nancy Jean, oh my God, that woman is like a walking Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica, everything when it comes to law and to history. I mean, she knows her things.
Wow.
So when I watch that, she will explain how certain laws will work to the extent of her knowledge, but her knowledge is incredible. So when Scott gets on now and reads with her, that's the show that I watch because she's there to explain stuff that I, me and myself or Scott or people in the chat may not understand about how, certain bodies of law work. And I'll tap into that show for a bit to kind of get a feel of what's going on and, you know, and get an understanding. But yeah, for me right now, the news and social media and everything, and especially too after yesterday's parade attack, I'm just like, no, I can't. No, it's like no news. It's just there's so much going on, and that's why when I saw this deck, I ended up picking up because what really caught me is the unshakable inner peace,
You need that right
so that
now.
you have something to hold on to, during times like that. And yeah, she was into politics and she worked for them. So she really has a really vast knowledge of how politics work and offices and everything. I mean, she's a whiz. She's a whiz. So, um, I went ahead. I know Jake already had a couple questions that I already saved for you on Selena because he loves Selena. He's so excited you picked her. Um, just going to make sure that I said hello to everybody. Sharon Sipe, I didn't see you pop in. Hi, Sharon. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Um, Flowing, Kristen, Ron, uh, Jake is here. Um, I know I saw Nancy Riker. Um,
Mhm.
And I think that is basically it. So let me go ahead and create a banner. We'll do Selena first.
I
That
can't
was
say her last name, but I love her. Like, I remember I grew up with her. So I was a teenager in the 90s. So I remember in 7th grade when she passed and everybody just crying.
I think
Uh,
everybody. She's like Madonna. You put in one name, and you know exactly who you're talking about.
you
She's
know,
like that one name star. That's how big she was.
hmm she was
But
amazing, didn't she? If I remember right, she learned Spanish just to sing in like Mexico and stuff, if I remember right.
mhm. I wasn't a fan. I really didn't listen to her music. The only time I actually really heard about her was um, when they came out with the movie, and I learned what happened to her, and it just broke my heart because it also made me think about when I was younger. There was an actress who was gunned down at her own front door by a stalker, a stalking fan. And so when I saw that, I was thinking, "Oh my God, not again!" These poor young women, they don't get to follow their dreams. But the amount, and I didn't know that she was a fashion designer, so I learned
Yeah,
that from
she made her own labels because she wanted everybody to be able to have cute clothes for a decent price.
her. Yes, Ron, she was murdered, Selena.
And she was murdered by the head of her fan club murdered her.
So I'll
She
let
was
Heather
just an
take it away
amazing,
and share who she is.
beautiful. She was an Aries too. So April 16th, 1971. So she was,
Oh my God, I was only a year older than her. Holy, she would be 50 this year.
yeah, she's a little older than me. Well, 10 years older than me. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah,
born
10 years. She was 71. I was born in 81.
wow,
So,
that's too much. Um, So, is
oh,
there anything else you want to share with everybody, or do you just want to go ahead? Because I know there are readers that do have prefer. Like I know Tangi, when she reads, she likes to have just basic and then read and then people share. Or some people like to talk complete about everything before they go ahead and it's been a while, so I'm not quite sure how your style is.
um,
So I'll
well,
take it
she kind of,
away.
I tuned into her energy and I'm trying not to cry because she said she doesn't want so much to people focus on what happened to her,
Mm-hmm.
but she wanted to come through and give us a message because so much is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can pull some cards. I mean, that's what she directed. She wanted people to not look at what happened to her because she's at peace with it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change anything, I know, but I just wanted, I was going to leave it open to her what she kind of like wanted to talk about. So I'll just pull cards and whatever she wants to talk about, we'll talk about.
Oh, Kristen, Selena's name is on the banners because when Heather and I get together, we like to each choose a female that's in spirit that has impacted our lives, or we want to share their story with everybody. And Selena is the now she was Mexican Tejana singer, or was she Latina?
She invented her own style. I can't remember the technical name of it. I don't speak Spanish, so I would just
Mm-hmm.
butcher it. But she
Yes.
was in, she like made her own style of music.
Mm-hmm.
So she was an entrepreneur. She trained since she was little to for her big break. She invented her own music style. She switched the game basically in the Latin community.
She was Mexican American. Okay.
Because she said, I'm both. So I understood that. And then just like she made a lot of her own outfits that you see her in. She made a lot of those. Like she pretty much designed everything that she wore. Just extremely talented.
And she Kristen, she was murdered by the manager of her fan club. I mean,
Hmm.
and we just went through this a couple of years ago with that young lady, and it was so sad because Shannon and I were watching The Voice, and her last name I think was Grimes. She was one of the ones that lasted the longest. She was on Blake's team, and she was killed by a fan stalker, a
Yeah,
couple
well,
years ago. I just
what
think it was.
happened is the head of her fan club was stealing money, and they found out, and they were going to get rid of her, so she murdered her.
And this is Selena that Heather's talking about. Christina Grimmie. Thank you, Jake. That's who I was talking about. That just recently was, about
Wow.
the same age as Selena, maybe a little younger. When she had died. So yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad, honestly, like especially females who are in the business. I mean,
Yeah,
not just females. I'm not even going to say that, just people who don't have,
a grasp on reality.
I don't even know how to phrase it.
Yeah.
They're young and they're naive and have no idea what they're really getting into sometimes. I guess I put it that way.
So everybody in chat, if you have a question for Heather that you would like for her to ask after we're done with the initial what Heather want and I want to ask about Selena, please let us know. I already have one question that was starred from Jake. So if anybody has any other questions they would like for us to consider asking her, please feel free. Oh yes, this is who I would like to do someday also. Maybe we can do it together, Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, oh, I love Aaliyah.
Most definitely.
She's one of my favorite singers, Aaliyah. Oh, I have every CD of hers still. I still have all my CDs of hers.
Yeah, that was hard. That summer I moved to Arizona. I was there, and the first week I was there, she passed away, and then 2 weeks later, Lisa Lopez died in her car accident, and I was just like, "What is going on?" It just
I've noticed that. Like, look at the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and
yeah,
oh
Richie
my
Valens,
gosh,
Buddy
I can't
Holly,
remember. Buddy
Buddy
Holly.
Holly.
I absolutely love all of those artists too.
Oh,
Listen
somebody
to
we can
Whale for
have
the
a
Bear.
free for all. We'll just have whoever you know we might feel connected to.
Yeah.
And Amy popped in. Amy smiling love and light. Did you know she's got her own channel up?
No, I'm so proud of you.
I was a guest on Friday, and we were on for a couple of hours.
Oh wow.
Okay.
She's already talking and talking.
Okay.
So she wants me to do these first because I pulled from Rebecca Campbell's Rose deck was the first card, and this is her message to us, like as humanity, that she wanted to give, and then we can pull questions on whatever if you guys want to ask questions. If she, we can pull on that too. Just let it flow. Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul call and gather. So she's talking about making community and gathering together.
Cool.
And she's talking about
Oh, let me put you in the hot seat.
the innocence of our children and the things that our children are going to be exposed to because of everything that's going on in the world and how hard it is energetically for them and for the young people, because I think this has really affected like our young people, everything that has gone on. I mean, yes, it's affected all of us, but it impacts the way they grow up and the things that they learn. So just being conscious of what you're speaking to or about around developing minds is how she's phrasing it, because you never realize the impact of the things that happens in a child's life and how that can affect them. Like even if you're talking about them, they still know you're talking about them, like energetically. But she said, she's saying, reach for your goals, do what you're passionate
Ooh.
about, focus on what you can build right now that really brings you a sense of joy, peace, happiness, new beginnings. Focus on your artwork, focus on things that bring you joy. She's saying that bring you joy, that bring you peace, that can bring you some solitude right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we have the Three of Cups right after that. Celebrate the life that you have, celebrate the small victories, celebrate the moments that you have for your time on this earth in this lifetime. Because this is like the Seeker of Flames. This is the King of Wands, basically, I think.
Ooh, what
So
deck
it's
is
the
that?
mastery. She's talking about the mastery of everything she did, she accomplished because she took the time to master those things and hone in on those skills. And it took a lot of patience. And that right now it says through the darkness to the light, patience. So she's saying we just need
Mm-hmm.
to be a little patient and just keep working towards what brings happiness and joy and fulfillment, family, unity, energies of multiple people. Like I've noticed a lot of readers are coming together doing lots of like collaborations and raising vibration to um help the human collective. If we have each other, we have a support system. So building those support systems is so important right now. And it says new beginning, take a fresh look at life. So try to look at things from the highest perspective you can and to be open-minded and allow yourself to expand, because even through the difficult times, that's what makes us grow. And she's got the egg in her hand.
That's beautiful.
So it's getting out into nature, taking nature walks, connecting with animals. If you have fur babies, just that sense of peace, that therapeutic nature of animals, because animals hold vibrations. If you think about a cat, when a cat purrs, that's a vibration. Like turning the TV off and snuggling with your cat instead, or your dog, and just spending that quality time. If you have a fur baby, if you have kids, do this with your kids. It says insight, be open to enhancement. So everything that's going on is to enhance you, to help you see. And a lot of things are dying away to be reborn. It's basically she's saying it's basically a dark night of the soul of human consciousness. So it's just really, really intense. And that's what she wanted to say for me. Did you want to pull cards, Heather?
Yeah, just it's because when you first start pulling out the cards, when I was saying that she says we need to have community. One of the cards I pulled. Oh, let me just do this.
Let's put yourself in the seat.
My brand new cards coming together. We need each other. And this card says where you have been separating yourself, or have you been separating yourself or pushing against others in the world. So that's just echoing her message right there. We need to come together. We need to try to find some middle ground where we can still each have our beliefs, but we both but it's both sides coming together um, from a place of respect, compassion. But in this day and age, we need to come together so more than we have in the past. The first card was you can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. So she said, wisdom. What does your higher self have for you? So taking that time. Oh, okay. So these are going to be a little. Oops. Shoot. There we go. Trying to get that glare off. So basically, you can make it through. Listen to your higher self. Listen to that guidance. Going in, meditating, and I love how the colors in all these cards are all pink for love, self love, kindness, compassion, um, going within, grounding yourself in that love, in that compassion, because a lot of these new cards all have crystals in them. And so with the pink and the water and the roses, we have this beautiful message throughout this deck of having that place of love. And for anybody coming in, it is, let me just show again. Oh, where did Heather put her? It's a brand new deck, and it's called the Unshakable Inner Peace. And I just got these today. So then the next card, you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Like with her growing up, like you were telling us earlier, she taught herself Spanish so that she could be able to sing in that language, to be able to bridge both gaps. You
Mhm.
know, both the American and the Mexican. She wanted to embrace both sides of who she was. And on top of that, she was designing her own clothes and just even being that role model back then for the young women to see that you can stand in your power. Um, like it's here, what is your heart guiding you? So it's standing in your power, arms wide open. You know, the sky's the limit. Where all these different windows and doors, everything's just there's no mistakes because from a mistake we grow from. So don't see your mistakes as failures. See them as stepping stones, ways to um, grow your confidence, grow your knowledge, your wisdom, and to know that the world is basically your oyster and not to be afraid. Um, and also, it was interesting when that came up because I was thinking about a question that Jake had asked earlier, and I'm just going to pop it right there really quick. Um, he said, "How was she meant to continue on? Was it her time?" And I don't think it was. I feel like her time, but she's at peace with it, like you said earlier. And I think as she looks back, it's like, well, I was here long enough to leave a legacy for young women. And today, her music is still being played. She is still being talked about. Her memory is being honored. She's still a role model for not just young women, but for older women too, to look back and say, look, she had no fear. Um, some people say, well, it was maybe a mistake for her to go this way. It was a mistake to trust this woman. It was all a part of, I guess, the divine plan. Um, but not to be afraid. Still listen to your heart, even when there's that fear, and not to be afraid to move forward. And do what it is. And going into that, into my next deck, I got oceans, the bravery. So bravery, oceans are emotions. Oceans are huge. They're kind of scary, but still be brave enough to cross those waters. And here, let me try to. And there's that young child again, like you were bringing up earlier. Embracing that inner child. What is it that you've been wanting to do when you were younger? What are the things that make you happy? What brings you joy? And when you said, children and family, connecting to what, that natural rhythm, when you were saying that, I pulled out this card. There's the human baby and the fur baby. So, what brings you comfort? What brings you joy? What grounds you? What makes you feel safe, as you're going through life and seeing, especially now with what's going on in the world? And then I got the West card, for completion. And as you said, in the beginning, she's okay now with her passing. And it was just another piece of, her life's path that she has had from, her past lives up into this life. I don't know personally if she has reincarnated and we're connecting with, messages from her higher self as Selena, but I'm just feeling like she is like a guiding angel, a guiding light, a spirit guardian for young women and for men. And that, and then here too with this card, there's the intellect, there's the brain, and then that piece of the puzzle. We're always developing, we're always, um, evolving, and when one part ends, like with the completion with her life, it opened up her to a new one, back onto the other side where she can continue to do what she was doing while guiding, you know, the younger children, the generation.
The first card you pulled out,
The very
the
first, I
higher
believe,
self.
the which one? Oh,
Higher self. It shows the woman. Look in the card. You see the woman, but see the ship.
hold on a second.
It looks like a ship,
Um,
like the
here,
sails.
oh, that's interesting. Behind her head is this beautiful light, and then behind her, I think, oh, they're constellations. And then you got the pink light, and then you've got, so that's her looking after and guiding the younger women as a, as that role
Hmm.
model, as that inspiration, saying,
Hmm.
if she can do it, I can do it. And I think still to this day, she's one of the few positive role models. And when I say positive, I mean, from what I can remember with Selena, there really wasn't any, oh, what's the word? The drama, the, like with Britney Spears, we all know what happened to poor Britney, and what, she ended up, what she had to go through with the dramas, the, oh, I'm trying to figure, because back then social media isn't what it is now. So she had more of a less influence from the negative sides, the dark side of the entertainment business. I think she was more, embracing the lighter part, the lighter sides. Um, and if she had lived, I don't feel like she would have been blinded by like what it is today, that she would have stayed true and authentic to her vision of who she was. And I think that's why a lot of young women look up to her, because she
Sorry.
she kept that positive image. I'm not saying that she was perfect, but compared to what a lot of, young celebrities today, and how the media throws everything and they create, I mean, it's vicious. And I think too that's why that card is so important too to her, is that, we support each other. especially
Mm-hmm.
the young women, because we're constantly pitted against each other
You know how you were
in
saying
social
support
media.
community?
Yep.
There's like people looking out for each other in the back of this.
Hmm. And so we have to have each other's back and start saying no to these TV shows and programs where they want to pit women against each other, get them to fight and call each other awful names, even if it might be even scripted. That's still giving the impression to young girls that this is how we have to act if we want to be respected, if we want we want to get somewhere in life. And I think she is continuing um, to be that positive role model for a lot of wait a minute here, but yes, like James said, Selena made a positive impression on a lot of
Mhm.
people. Flowing, she was very grounded. Um,
She had a good support system behind her too. Her
yes.
family all worked together. They all were in the band. They all worked together and looked out for each other. So
Bye, Kristen. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening, hun.
I think she was extraordinarily lucky as an artist in that way,
Mhm.
that she had
Um,
her family.
So do we still want to I mean, I'm feeling she's okay. She says with her moving on. Jake's question was she meant to go, then was it her time? Do we feel like we kind of cover that with the messages our cards were saying, or did you just want to see what she felt about at the time, her passing at that time?
Yeah, we can pull a few cards. I don't think, like I said, she doesn't want us to focus on that, but
Yeah.
I honestly can tell you, I think she's okay with it. I think she's at peace with it, and she's been able to, like, when we die, we still have like to work on things. It doesn't mean that we still don't have to work on things and prepare for things. Just depends on how much work do you have to do as an individual. Because I don't believe in hell. I believe that we just all have crap to work on.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pull one card to see, you know, just to ask her if, because I know a lot of us are taught, in a lot of chats, a lot of lives, people ask, people talk about the concept of soul contracts before coming here. So I'm thinking, and that might be kind of like what Jake is asking, is if, had she, um, was this already in place? Was it meant to happen? Or was this one of those occurrences where um, someone else's free will affected, you know, the balance? I'm still not sure how I feel about that. That would be an
I
interesting
I
live
kind of
chat.
think that if she wouldn't have died the way she did, she wouldn't have left the impact she did. I think it was predestined for that to happen.
So you do think it was predestined? I would like to
That'd be
do a
what
live
I'm
chat one
feeling.
day with some other readers, and I would love to have you on that too if you're interested in discussing how do we perceive, um, you know, soul contracts.
Mhm.
Do we agree that they exist? If not, what are some of the pros and cons to how just an open discussion, an open and
Mhm.
honest discussion? Because um, I had a cousin who was 16 at the time. She would have been 50 this year in August, and she was hit and killed by an impaired driver, 16 years old. And when I hear people talking about soul contracts now, and I'm thinking, but my cousin had all these hopes and these dreams that she wanted. She wanted to go to culinary school. She wanted to be a chef and all of this. And so for me, sometimes I have a difficult time, with the concept of, you know, um, predestined, you know, I'm
I
not
think it's
sure.
open to free will. Like we all, that's one thing on the planet Earth. We do have free will, but I think there are certain things that are set in motion that you are supposed to go through or deal with or happen. So certain events can ripple out.
Yeah.
Like when she died, that was so tragic, especially to the Latino community,
Hmm.
because she was the only one like her. She was so unique, but it also impacted so many lives, and she's still being talked about today because of it.
Hmm. Yeah, for Jake's question, I got the strength card. So to me, it was planned. It was solid. It had been decided. Um, the trust card, trust that you know that this was meant to happen. As I'm trying to pick up on this, and I love how the heart is in there. Just having trust and knowing that you know this was um, this happened decided between her. I can't even remember the name of the woman, but the woman who took her life. And I know a lot of times that we can't understand it. She goes, and it's part of the mystery. And once we exit, we'll have a better understanding. Um, but you kind of have to trust in that. For people who are still here, when another crosses over in that fashion, it's just like they don't understand. They can't wrap their minds around it. Just know that have trust in that love and trust in that mystery. And it'll be revealed to I think each of us in our time. You know.
And because the question was this meant to happen?
Yeah.
And because I got a solid yes. I got the sun card.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Solar deities. So that's my yes card. Yes, it was predestined, but it's got the Pegasus. So she's got wings now. She's an angel. Like she's looking over people. Of course she was hurt.
Hmm.
Of course she felt betrayed with
Oh
the
my
Eight of
God, it looks like a
Wands.
bullet hole. It looks like a bullet hole. Because I think she was shot by the
Yeah,
woman.
she was shot. But the last card is she's not holding on to that. She's got the Six of Wands.
Yeah.
She can't
She's
change it.
also.
She realizes where she's at, but of course she was hurt, and the sun is like literally shining through that.
Yeah.
It was just something that she was destined to go through, and her family was destined to go through, and to make the impact that she did.
Uh, Jake did have one question because he's been a mega fan of hers his whole life. Can we ask if he has a message? If she has a message for him?
Yeah,
I'm good with that because
yeah.
I've been wanting to ask people about Carrie Fisher with me. Um, about how certain people how they feel now in the afterlife and how they've impacted people um, on earth and those who still honor and remember you know for the positive changes that they made in their lives while being on this earth.
And since you're a mega fan, I'm hearing her say, well, when you play my music, I'm with you. When you remember me, I'm with you. A part of
Oh,
me is
Jake,
always
that's
there.
beautiful. Now,
And
was
I'm going
she
to try.
married or engaged?
Huh?
Someone Gina wanted to know. I think she was engaged, wasn't she? And that lady got
Um,
jealous too of that, or it was one of those if I can't
I
have
can't
you,
remember if
nobody.
she was engaged or not. I know she had a boyfriend that she had was kind of problematic and would destroy stuff and like the
Oh,
hotel rooms. And I
well,
don't
that's
think
not
her
good.
father agreed. I don't know if she moved on past that. I'm actually trying to watch the new series on Netflix about her.
Yeah, Jake and Flowing said she was married.
Was she married?
Yeah, Jake
Okay, I
told
couldn't
Flowing
remember
that
if she got married or it was like right towards the end of her life. She wasn't married too long, if I remember correctly.
to the guitarist in the band because I can't see her
Yeah,
putting up with that shit. You know.
I can't see her dad putting up with that.
Yeah.
He was pretty strict and old fashioned.
Okay, Jake. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. You are the image maker. What you focus on, Jake? You on what you focus on manifests. So that goes with what Heather said, with what Selena had said. When you hear her music and you connect with her on that emotional and spiritual level, um, you're manifesting that. That's an actual connection that you are making with her. So that's beautiful. And then you got the full moon right there, just radiating. So when you're listening to her music and looking up at the stars, the moon, the sky, and you're feeling that love that you have for her with her music, she's right there with you.
Oh,
That's perfect. What you focus on manifests. So if you feel she's there with you and that she hears you and she understands, then she's there.
oh. I got the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Don't
Ooh.
allow anything to hold you back. She's saying you are a healer, you're a wounded warrior, you've been through a lot of things, and that you're a very compassionate person. And just to be sure-footed and make sure you're grounded and focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want. And to focus on what brings you joy, because I have the three
Are
of
those
cups.
they look like, are those teddy bears or koalas? Oh, they're like little teddy bears. Oh.
They look like yeah, they look like little teddy bears or like groundhogs, or I can't quite tell what they are, but they're so cute. But she's like, do what brings joy to your heart. If you feel like singing her songs, sing it loud and sing it proud and don't give a damn.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sing till your heart's content. Do what brings you joy and helps you to heal and to move forward.
James C. had an interesting question. I wonder if when these tragedies happen, is it to assist humanity into spiritual growth? And I think, yes, for the people's lives that she has touched. It's all woven,
Oh,
everything's like
that's
a
what it was
web.
too. Her message, her music is healing to you. That was the other message. Sorry, I almost lost it.
Well, that's Jake said thank you. Those were beautiful. Oh, and Flowing too had a beautiful message for him as well. But yeah, I think spiritual growth. Yeah, I just kind of wish it would work a little faster. But I think, like that saying is, even if it's just you doing something small for one person, and if that changes their life, then that was meant to help bring that person's life to a change. And then if that person remembers the kindness that you showed them, then they will give that to others. And it's that ripple effect where, yes, it just might start with you. Yes, you are enough, because those people that you touch, even if it's just a few, they will go on and they will touch people, and those people they touch, and then it ripples. So
Hmm.
it's just like a ripple in a lake. We all do affect each other. And I think that too, with spirituality and growth. Singing raises your vibes. It sure does, Ron.
Hmm.
I totally agree. And good night, Gina. Thank you for stopping by.
But I
And
keep hearing this song, Whenever You Need Me, I'll Be There. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. So you have a
I'll
way of
be
connecting
there.
to her.
Hmm.
So she's saying, I'm there. I'm with you.
Yeah, music is power. Music is vibrational. I mean, music is what connects people together.
Mhm.
Even if you can't speak the same language, you hear music. Music and art are like universal languages.
Yes,
It's
they
that
are.
basic rhythms, that help people would even communicate in early on. So, I definitely get that. Alrighty, so Jake, I hear her saying, "Believe." Okay, I remember that. Okay, and Amy said that's how she feels when she hears George Harrison's music. We all have those special people that we listen to. For me, one of the songs that touches me the most is a song by Evanescence called "My Immortal," and every time I hear that, I sing it. I bring up pain and sadness, and then it helps me release it. So for me, I mean, music is just extremely powerful.
That's
But,
transmutation.
mm-hmm,
Because either way, you've got to release that energy, whether it's crying, screaming, laughing, singing. One way or another, you have to get it out, writing, whatever way you can.
yeah. Okay, I'm just looking for. Also, Floyd knows that song. Even the video is haunting. I can't believe Evanescence's first CD release is already 20 years old. Over 20 years. It's like, where the hell is the time gone? I mean, it just blows my mind. But this is beautiful too. I can't speak Spanish, but I can feel her soul when I listen to it. And that's
Hmm.
music. You just,
Hmm.
you just feel it right in there.
You, music breaks all barriers. Like you said, it's universal.
Mm-hmm.
Art, music, people can connect between those things because they are universal, and that's what music is meant to do.
So,
We think about our ancestors, they all would sing and dance and play instruments and sit around a fire.
mm-hmm. When I love, before COVID hit, I would go to drum circles, and everybody, would bring a drum or other instruments, and we didn't need to talk. We just listened to each other's rhythms, and a lot of times, even people who didn't have very good rhythm, we could still follow and bring their rhythm in to still make it fit with ours. No talking, no nothing, just the vibration, the rhythm, and the sound. It's just
That's
it's
beautiful.
it's magic. Alrighty. So
I'm
are we
hearing this
done with
magic moment when your
this
lips are close to mine.
mine? Then that song from I don't know if you remember the movie, but remember the movie Xanadu
I
with
think I
Olivia Newton
watched
John?
that.
It's a cheesy '70s movie. I still love it, but there's a song with magic in it. I can't think of it right now because I'm on the spot. But yeah, it's.
If you love that, you're like, oh, I just
I
like
used to
hope
roller skate
everything
that.
escapes your mind.
Yep. It's just like brain fart and you're on live and you're like, oh my god, I look like a total ass. So, no. Oh,
Honestly,
there
people
we go.
understand when you're a reader.
James got it. He's a fan of Xanadu. He knows that song that I'm talking about. It was that co-star. They did a song called Magic. It's magic. Da, da, da. Yeah, I'll have to look it up later. But yes, he knows what I'm talking about. Um,
I'm gonna have to look that up later.
Abney Park. So yeah, I mean that's how people talk about bands and music, and uh, I can go on and on. It was called Magic by Olivia Newton-John. Yeah.
I have an air bubble and I'm afraid I'm gonna burp, so if I do, excuse me.
Well, like Tanji says, speak your truth, get out your gas.
It's like stuck there. It will come out when it's ready.
Okay, so are we done with Miss Selena?
Yeah.
Thank you, Selena.
Thank you, Selena.
Absolutely
Love
beautiful.
you.
And she had the most beautiful hair. Oh my god, that thick, glossy, beautiful hair. Oh god. That's what I remember most about her, like that picture I chose. Just that beautiful, long, dark, curly brown hair, so thick and so glossy.
It's
Ah,
beautiful. Beautiful inside and out.
have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our ways. There, I knew that was going to come. I just had to let it go out of my mind, and that popped right in. So there we go. All righty, I'm happy now. I don't. I look less the fool.
Now you don't have it bugging you like, what is the way to that?
I
I
can't
hate that when I
remember.
get a song and I'm like, I can only hear like a tiny little bit of it and I can't remember the rest. I'm like, I have to go listen to that, or is that line's gonna be stuck in my
I'm
head
gonna
all
have that song now in my head for the rest of the night. Have to believe we are magic.
night.
Nothing can stand in our way. So, okay, now for I was going to now this young lady here, she was a part of a group of women during World War II called the Night Witches.
Ooh.
Let me bring up because I misspelled her name wrong on the thumbnail. I left out a letter, and her name is here. Let's add Irina Sebova, and this is with her medal. Whoops, one of the pictures with
So
her
is
many
she
medals.
Russian?
She's Russian, and back in 1940, let's see, what time did they start? I believe it was 45. Let me get back. So there was just so much information. So she actually lived to be 85. She passed away in 2000. She was born December 25th,
Oh wow.
1914. So let me get back here on that. And now she was started in 1941 and she stayed with the military till 1948. And so Stalin was in charge of Russia, was the ruler of Russia at the time, but Hitler was trying to invade and take Russia over. And so this one woman went ahead and said, she was friends with Stalin and said, here, let me, we need to get women involved in the military because they weren't allowed to serve. And she says, women will being in the military will make a difference. And so they were like, fine, of course, once they get into, the women are treated like, second class or less by the men that are already in the men in the military. But these women really proved themselves. So her rank was senior lieutenant. She was a part of, let me see if I can find maybe a group picture here of, here, let me just read this little blurb on her. She was a lieutenant and pilot for the Soviet Air Forces who served in the all female Night Witches during the Second World War. Sebova was awarded the title Hero of Soviet Union. Um, so let me pull this up a little bit more. There was just so much written about her and the women. I'm just like, okay, how can I? Um, so she grew up in a poor family. She went to trade school. At 23, she was already an experienced flight instructor. And in 1938, she graduated from the Moscow Aero Club. Um, and in 1940, began training in military aviation. So let's see here. I'm trying to see where they include. She was given the Gold Star and the Order of Lenin. Um, I know a lot of people don't like Lenin, but you think back then, Hitler's invading all over. He's trying to take Russia, and these women wanted to serve, to help protect their country. Um, she was awarded 3 orders of the Red Banner and Order of the Patriotic War in the first and second degree, the Red Star, and all the other medals. I mean, she was accomplished. And let me just jump back really quick here too and pull up the Night Witches because these women, they were such good pilots. What they had to do while going over German targets, they had to basically like cut engines off and just glide in to be able to drop the bomb and then
I was gonna
kick back
ask if
in to
they did
take
that.
off. And so because they called them that because there was like you would hear like a light like they were claiming it sounded like a broomstick. These women would go in, they were deadly, they were silent, they went in, dropped off, and boom, they were gone before anyone knew what was hitting them. And
That's funny they
so
call them night witches because of that. That's great.
yeah, they were liking it to hearing like this, like you would imagine the sound of a broom just going, because they would hear the wind under the wings, but there was no engine or anything. And for them to be able to drop that low with engines cut, and then be able to, take back
Hmm.
off again. And there were, quite a few casualties over the years, but she survived all of her, even after she got shot down with one of her co-pilots. They still were able to make it out and get to, the Russian compatriots to get them, out of the area. But let me just put in here. See, I wish I had the ability to be able to click on and share. I have, but I don't have the StreamYard or the laptop for that. So thank you everybody for um, bearing with me on here. Um, so let me put here the night witches, and let me grab a picture of one of a group of them. Come on, where's these badasses?
I think it's
Alrighty.
so funny. I picked a girl from the USSR last time, and you
Yep.
picked a musician, and we opposite this time.
Okay. Oh my God, that's right. Come on, let me. Come on, you're gonna let me turn over? No, they're not gonna let me. But this is a group photo of some of these women all together, and they did this with the mere, just meager amounts of, the men would not cut them any slack, but yet they proved themselves. I mean, to more, you know. Um, so, Night Witches was a World War II German nickname for the all female military aviators of the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, known later as the 46th Taman Guards Night Bomber Aviation Regiment of the Soviet Air Forces. Though women were officially barred from combat, at the time, Major Marina Raskova used her position and personal contacts with the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin to obtain permission to form female combat units. Combat facilitated and ushered in a reluctant acceptance of women in military based more upon practicality and necessity than equality. So the equality was out of the picture. They still were considered equals, but they brought them in out of necessity. So on October 8th, 1941, an order was issued to deploy three women's Air Force units, including the 588th Regiment. They were all basically volunteers, all in their late teens and early 20s. And they got the term night witches because they were so silent, and all you would hear is like a whew, and then boom, and then they were out just in time. So that is what she was a part of. And let me just bring her picture back again as a little
I
bit
always
of.
thought Hitler and Stalin worked together for some
I
reason.
thought so too.
He
That's what
betrayed
surprised
Stalin
me.
and huh?
That surprised me. I thought so too. But yeah, Stalin wasn't connected with him. So
Huh.
there's Irina's picture again, with her medals, and I think there's a later picture too. Oh my, yeah, when she was older with more of the medals. So she was
Oh
a
wow.
highly decorated
She's
female
really
officer,
decorated.
and she did eventually marry. I do believe she had a couple of kids, and she lived to be 85. Um, and she passed in 2000. So, wow. First, let me check really quick here. Hello, Kala Lizzie. Welcome, welcome.
Trying not to get Palo Santo spray in my water. I don't think that would taste too good.
So, I'm going to grab a different deck first that I'm drawn to. Um, and just kind of do like we did for Selena, a basic, a baseline, just seeing what message,
She wants to talk
she
about.
wants to talk about. And when it was amazing because when I looked at her, I could also see like semblance of our indigenous people of Native America, and you can tell that there was at some point that 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 glacial bridge, because I can see a lot of the Russian and the Finnish, Slavic peoples, native indigenous peoples of that area having similar features to a lot of the indigenous peoples, especially on the West Coast. So it's just absolutely fascinating to me how Um, we really truly are all connected, you know, at some point in time. That's Irina.
No wonder I was hearing that song.
Hmm?
I was getting a song from the 90s, but it says rhythm. Rhythm is the dancer or something like
Yeah.
that. And then,
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Rhythm. Rhythm is a dance. Yeah, I wonder if it was CC Peniston. I don't know. There was a lot of wonderful groups, CC Music Factory, and all of them back then. I actually think I have that song on CD somewhere. Okay, let's see. Ooh, King of Wands. Oh wow. Well, her first message is, even though we think of her as badass and wow, everything she accomplished, what she still wants us to know. All right, let me just go over to the. I did get the King of Wands, and that's fire. Like after you drop a bomb, King of Wands, it was volatile, it was violent. You know, the powers that be, the men, you know, with like the Hitler and with Stalin and all of them. Um, it was just a very brutal time. Um, you know, dropping the bombs. I know it probably gave him a sense of pride, but now once you get past it and in your afterlife, you get that different perspective. And I'm sure she must have felt it too, because they had a lot of casualties, but because of all of the destruction that they caused, the people's lives they took, a lot of them themselves, everybody left was all in ruin. Nobody was a winner on either side. Um, there were women, who died in her group. Some that came back, PTSD. They didn't know what that was back then.
shock
So
dog.
so you know, both sides were devastated. I mean, the swords ray in the back, and it did cause heartache. There's nothing glamorous about war or how many people you take out. Um, yes, the bravery was there. She did that to protect her people. It was something that she believed in, but don't think for once that war is glamorous. It caused nothing but heartache, especially too, and it continues even after the war is over. Um, and again, another one, Queen of Wands. There's the fire. She knows that um, she was proud at the time of her achievements, because she felt she was doing the right thing. Um, She did have a very fiery personality. She was very creative. These women had to be creative because, like in the beginning, when I was reading, you know, the men would get the best equipment, and they would be handed pencils and paper. They were mocked. The men would still mock the women, um, even after they started to prove themselves. But they were fierce. They had to be fierce. They had to be creative. They had to um, learn how to when to cut the engines, when to have to drop the bombs, and when to kick the engine back and to get them out of into safety. And um,
Mhm.
it was heartache on both sides. I got
They
the
had a
wealth.
rhythm. That's why that card was coming out.
There you go. They had to know exactly when to. Yeah, that's perfect. There was a rhythm. There was a timing. Um, Everything had to be timed, and it's something that you can't necessarily learn, be taught. It's something that you have to feel. It's becoming like one with the plane. you, and with your co-pilot, your partner, you both have to be able to trust each other. You both have to
Mhm.
know that the other will not freeze up, that everything had to be in perfect, you know, rhythm, like on a dance floor. You had to know when to drop this, when to cut off this, and then so it was a whole process that was learned through practice and trust and faith in one another. And it's interesting because I got the wealth card, and it did bring her um, substantial amount of abundance, which she was, to be able to raise her family. I'm sure to help and to help her own, not just her children, her husband, but her family as well, because they grew up poor. But this also, to me, feels like a wealth of knowledge, um, a wealth of notoriety, the medals. Um, Everything came with a price, though. In the Knight of Swords, they had to move in there, they had to be swift, get in and to get out. And, um, it had to be cruel. And for, that's one of the things with, I sometimes wonder, because women, are thought to be nurturing, mothering, protective of children and people and their community and their family, and having to learn how to cut those emotions out and to allow their job that they had to do, having to be destructive, um, chaos causing. Um, they bring life into the world, and here they had to go, and then their job was to take it out. So I feel like there was like a lot of conflict, and there, yeah, it took balance. It was a lot to balance both sides, nature, within themselves. It took time. you know you never fully got over what they had to do, but they had to learn how to balance that that nurturing, that kindness, that compassion, and bring over the overriding. Okay, we have a goal. No feelings, quick, decisive, destructive, and at a lot of times it was hard to balance both sides of that.
Oh,
Um,
I can imagine.
and establish strength. I mean, the cards, the messages keep coming um, from her. And there's the ships, out in the water, having to look over and knowing that they had a job to do and that they had to take lives. And at some point, I mean, when they went in, they had to cancel all that out, and they knew they had a job to do. And it was hard for them because they knew that who they were taking out, even though they were the enemy, and there was anger, and there was hate, and there was aggression. At the same time, they were also feeling this was somebody's child that I just killed. And so at some point, I think that's where like the Three of Swords was coming through. The heartbreak once, you're done and you're older and you're not in that anymore. And then as you start crossing over and you realize just how much damage you had to
Reality
do, how much
sets in.
destruction. Yeah. And there's that innate sense of just heartbreak. I don't feel like a lot of these women were, like like cold-blooded killers. Some might have had that natural instinct. I think for some it really had to be um, learned. It had to be kind of like hammered in. But a lot of these women did volunteer. They did because they had their own families, their own country to protect. So it's that balance again of do I protect my home, or do I? So at one point there was no question. They had to do what they had to do. And yeah, and then the justice card. There is no justice. You know, um, I'm feeling bad because
It's okay. Do you want me to
yeah,
read?
go ahead. Yeah, and I'm going to grab
Take a
another
breath.
deck and get a um, some positive cards. So let me pull you over there.
Okay. Like these women is to explore your inner wild places. Like we were talking about, they had to get in, get out. They had to be, these women were extraordinarily unique and very brave in the face of it all. And like I was saying, this card came out is because there was a rhythm to it. There was a rhythm and a frequency, and they all had to trust each other and work on, like they got that down. It was something that they had to work on exactly to get things down to do what they needed to do. And they also had to I'm seeing the turtle and like the birds, they had to look like keep their eyes open at all times. And they probably had to the cover of the night is what I'm getting, like you were talking about. In the cover of the night, they would do their job, and it took a lot of patience. This took a lot of skill, it took a lot of patience. And like you said, I have the Ace of Cups, which emotionally, I feel like it's Ace of Orbs and seeing things in the water. Like you're talking about the ships and stuff that they had to, I don't know if they took out ships, so they didn't have their navy.
I'm not sure. I'll look.
And then the Six of Chalices is because they were trying to protect their community and the children of their community. Like, yes, they were doing it to protect and preserve their community.
Yeah, like Flowing said, they took lives to save lives. I mean, there's nothing good
It
about
was just
it.
this fact of war. It's kill or be killed, you know? And yes, this brought her the notoriety. And like you were talking about the justice, I'm seeing the
The
scales, but there's no
abundance.
scale here. I keep seeing that card. It
I
was
love that card. That's
abundance. Yes,
beautiful.
it brought them notoriety and accolades, but the aftermath, I think, like you're saying, the PTSD, I don't feel like they could ever fully defeat that beast. Like it was always there,
Yeah.
like a part of it was always there. And was she an Aries, or when
No,
was she born?
let's see, Capricorn. She was born on Christmas,
Okay, yeah, that's right.
December 25th, so she'd be Capricorn.
So this is the Queen, because you were pulling the Queen of Wands for her, weren't you too?
Mm-hmm.
She's very, she had a side to her that she could zoom in and focus on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, they knew they had a job and they had to get it done, because if they didn't do their job, people would die.
Yeah.
It's,
They're protecting their
that's
families.
really hard. Um, she had regrets. But she knows she did what she had to do, and I think she told herself, well, that's just the way it is. And the flack that they got from the men and being treated differently when they were taking a lot of risk
Mm-hmm.
and not even being recognized for it. I mean, it took time. It sounds like it took time to get to where they were like, that's what I've said before. Women have to show them or prove themselves 10 times over more than a man does to get any kind of notoriety or accolades, you know? And
I
I'll just,
pulled.
I'm going to pull one from the Mother Mary for a message that she wants to share with us, just to kind of lighten it.
And just really quick, it says here the regiment flew in wood and canvas Polik, Policar, Polikarpov U-2 biplanes, a 1928 design intended for use as training aircraft for crop dusting. So they were even given the bare minimum of planes. And they, it says here, at its largest, it had 42-person crews. The regiment flew over 20,000 sorties, which I'm assuming are missions, dropping over 3,000 tons of bombs and 26,000 incendiary shells. It was the most highly decorated female unit in the Soviet Air Force, with many pilots having flown over 800 missions by the end of the war, and 23 having been awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union title. 32 of its members died during the war. So that shows you what they were doing with just the cheapest bare minimal planes, and they
To
still
have
fought.
that high of honors and being given so little, that just shows you how resourceful they were.
The aircraft was obsolete and slow, but the pilots took advantage of its exceptional maneuverability. So this is where the rhythm comes in, Heather. It also had a maximum speed that was lower than the stalling speed of both the BF 109 and the FW 190, which made it very difficult for German pilots to shoot down. So because they were lightweight and they were able to devise a rhythm where they could manipulate the wood and those canvases to be able to swoop down and get out before the Germans even had a chance. So there's the rhythm, because they were
Mhm.
slow and they had to go with the rhythm of the wind. They had to know how the wind was blowing. Everything. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry. I just had it. Woo.
That's beautiful. Like that, it makes sense. And like when you were saying that, this tree and the turtle and the birds, like that makes more sense. So to get in and get out.
Yeah. And the shells too.
Mhm.
They had very little for protection.
Yeah. Okay. I pulled from the Mother Mary. I just got this deck, so I haven't used it yet.
Oh, don't you love that? I have that deck. It's so
I
beautiful.
got the mini one
Oh, I got the big one.
because my hands are so tiny. I don't like the bigger decks. Like you watched me with this deck. It's so
I
hard
know. I
for
looked
me to
at that and I'm like,
shuffle.
oh my god! I thought she had small cards, because the ones that you sent me, you gifted me. I'm like, oh my god, these things are huge.
Yeah, that's why I got the mini decks because those things are huge. Like these ones are gigantic.
I mean, I
These are
might
bigger
have to
than
trim mine.
those.
Wow. Yeah. I'm
I was
like, oh
like,
my
oh my
god, they're
lord.
that big. Well, these ones are kind of big too. I mean,
It's like, what do you think we are like 6 feet tall? I'm a woman. I don't have that big of hands. I'm only 5'3".
side shuffle. Denise has got that down. I can't do the side shuffle.
Yeah, I can with certain ones, but that one I cannot. It hurts my hands. It's way too big.
Flowing has the same mini Mary deck too, and she loves it.
It's beautiful. I got Our Lady of the Sacred Sun. Within your heart is love that is unconditional, compassionate, and healing. From the love emerges wisdom and the capacity to make choices based on what holds essential meaning and value to your soul. It takes courage and strength to live your life authentically and honestly, even if resistance arises at times. You can trust that only goodness, grace comes from living in such truth. And that's her message to us. And then the other one is this one, Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth.
Mm.
Invisible karmic forces are at work in our lives, creating circumstances that support our soul's fulfillment, sometimes through golden opportunities and sometimes through obstacles that we must grow and overcome. Your soul is currently processing deep and powerful karmic energies. You are outgrowing old patterns and simultaneously harvesting good karma. You are creating a pathway for new, improved expression of your soul life, protected and guided by Mother Mary.
So, I like that size because the large ones that I have, everything is written on the front. And I like how you can actually just show the card and read the message um, without having, yeah, I like that. I might have to
And
get
they're
that.
matte finish, which is nice too. That's what I
Yeah,
really like about them too.
mine stick.
I've been trying to find the Kuan Yin in mini version, but they haven't got it out. I'm like, come on, give me the Kuan Yin
Now,
in mini.
Jake, I think, are you Russian? I'd be interested on your thoughts about Irina and this reading. So I think Jake said once before that he has Russian heritage, and he had the comment here that Russia is a place where you have to be tough. It always has been.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at
So,
the their government. Oh my gosh, the KGB
yeah.
is in charge of the police force, and they don't ask questions. They just beat your ass, and then they ask questions.
Here's Jake's reply. I'm half Russian. My dad fled the USSR. His entire life he hated Russia. It was always his dream to come to America. Wow. See, one of my favorite artists of all time, he was from Russia, and he couldn't return after the one war. His name is Kandinsky, Vasily Kandinsky. And a lot of these people have such a beautiful love for their home country. It's just it's just heartbreaking that you have to leave your country that you love because of the politics. Um, so I pulled some positive cards from my new deck, and the first card, she says, express yourself creatively, start something new. So I'm just going to flip over here really quick. So what creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? So I'm feeling like if you have to have like a job or something in your life that brings you sadness or unhappiness or doesn't help you to express your joy, to make sure that you do find something that does bring that type of joy to you, so that, like in that other temperance card, you can make a balance between what you have to do to survive, to pay bills, and yet at the same time to be able to nurture your soul and help keep you on positive positive energy, um, that outlet to let go of those negative feelings so that you do have a balance. And then the next card was just beautiful. And this especially after, I could see her saying this after the war, out of the woods, you've made it. So for her, she was so grateful, all these women were, when the war was over, and they could actually walk away from that. And I know she continued training at some point um, before she retired, training women and male, pilots on how to fly. So after she was done, and with you, once you emerge from that and you've made it through, make sure that when you leave what is negative or what no longer serves you, and you leave that behind, make sure you replace that with something that's beautiful, that's positive, that gives you that opens up a new path, a new avenue for you to express, to bring that joy and to bring that happiness in. And the last card, you are the joy seeker. And what says at the bottom, what little victories can you celebrate? And so, just like paralleling, you know, the war, what little celebrations for her it was, like Flowing said, I had to take lives, but I saved lives. Um, I became an excellent pilot so that I could help support the women in my um, regiment. And now I can teach other men and women how to fly and to be able to help them they need to serve and to protect. So again, too, with balance as well with this card. Um, but war is not glamorous. Um, and she knows that we're not glamorizing war, but it was just very adamant in those previous cards that um, there's heartbreak. There's nothing good um, about having to take another person's life, and we need to remember that if we want to continue evolving as a species on this earth.
Very true.
He doesn't have much to say, but Russian women are badass tough, and you have to be in that country.
Their people are Russians are really tough cookies. Like
Yeah,
honestly, for her to put herself on the line like she did, and to support like all those women to come together to pave the path so women could actually choose to fight for the country and not feel so helpless.
yeah. Now I
Like,
don't know if YouTube is going to like me saying this, but they can bite me. I don't know if you remember about. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. There was an all-female protest rock band in Russia called Pussy Riot, and they would cover their faces with their underwear, and they would cut holes in it or something like that, or hats, and they would perform, and in protest you know of Putin, and they ended up getting arrested, beaten, and thrown into jail for, I think, 3 years or something. A lot of people were around the world saying you got to let them go. This isn't right. And I can't imagine the horrors that those women probably went through.
oh, I'm sure.
But yet, even afterwards, they still perform. They still tour. I haven't heard really much because of COVID and everything happening. But yeah, it's and I mean, Jake's right. I mean, to be able to do that, knowing damn well that they could probably be shot and killed right on the spot, they refused to back down,
At least
and
I
they were
died
going,
defending my country.
or what I believe should be my country, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't. I remember Madonna trying to start a petition or something to get them released. Of course, I think they might have lessened um, their sentence, but I can't imagine what they must have gone through while they were there.
Yeah.
But talk about badass, Jake. Yeah. But even two women today marching in the streets with everything going on in this country, there are still women, people coming forward um, to help women get to other states for medical assistance. Let's put it that way. Um, that's badass too, because they're willing to risk their lives and their freedoms to be able to help, you know, these women. And I think we need to start focusing too on celebrating them as well, because I think what they're doing is getting overshadowed by everything that's going on in the courts. And media loves to do that. They like to just keep putting all the negative up there and then
It's just they want
giving the
people to
positive.
fight.
And I think these people should be recognized for helping, still being there, that there are still people willing to risk, their lives to help another. And I think that's a beautiful thing too. It really is.
Yeah. Sadly, they do that a lot because they don't want you to actually focus on the real issues and what
Mm-hmm.
needs to be focused on. Because if they can create chaos and discord and pin each other against each other, then they win.
Yeah. And the people who are fighting that are not getting enough attention, and they should. And so that's
What they
why
do
I,
need that Selena was talking about is we need to come together.
Okay, okay, Victoria, I am not going to accept that. Not in this chat, not on my live. If you don't like what we're discussing and our opinions, you can leave right now. I don't. If I have a moderator, can we please block her and remove her and report her, please? You are not welcome here.
Well, I'm glad I can't see what she said.
Yeah, you don't want to. I'll tell you later. Okay, I'm going to hit block myself. But if anybody else is a moderator, can go ahead and report her. That would be good. Thank you. You're a witches. You're insane. Victoria, love and light to you. I feel sorry for you. I pity you, and I hope that you learn to find love and compassion in your heart and allow me to live my life and my beliefs, even though they don't agree with yours.
I think it's kind of funny. She did that right as I was saying. If you can create chaos and discord.
See, I blocked her and she still came in. So, Ron, I can only do so much. So, if somebody can go ahead,
She came in again on a different name.
no, the same one, hide her.
I
I
don't
did. I blocked her. I can't hide her. So then maybe I'm the only one that can see her. Yep, clearing energy space. I don't wish her ill. I wish her love. I
know.
truly do. I wish her love and light and compassion, and hope that at some point she can um, just allow people to have their beliefs. Um, I mean, I can understand, what, even if she might still see me and she can't respond. Victoria, I was raised Catholic. I was taught at a young age, of course, because the church is very pro life. Believe me, I was up into my 20s and I was the same way. I believed the same way. But as I got older, I got into college and I learned about, I mean, it's unfortunate. I wish women didn't have to do this. I mean, if it was my decision, I wouldn't. But let's say, what if you had a relative? I didn't want to go here tonight, but what if you had a female relative, especially extremely young one, get sexually assaulted and got pregnant by
Fair
this
warning.
individual, even at a super young age? Why would you not? Why would you want her to go through that? Why would you? This is what some people just don't understand. Um, so I've been there. I used to believe like you do, but there's a good and a bad to everything. There's a dark and there's a light. And I'm sorry if the concept of this angers you and hurts you and makes you so sad. Um, but like I said, I can just wish you love and light. And I hope that your pain can be taken away, and that you don't feel so much hate, towards others. And that's all I will say on the matter.
Okay. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Nope. So, does anybody have any questions for Irina? Her energy is still around, or
Mhm.
would we just end on a general card reading for everybody?
Yeah, why don't we just do that? End on a general card reading if nobody wants to ask any questions regarding to her.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy. And she walks in beauty. I saw you a little while ago, but I was addressing our guest. Thank you for joining us. Nobody likes the idea of an A. No, no, exactly.
You don't want my opinion because I don't have anything nice to say. You said it much nicer than I ever would have.
I'm trying to walk my own walk and talk my own talk to a degree when I can. because I did feel like her once before. I was appalled by that thought and the idea. And at that young, even in my 20s, I didn't have a concept
Mm-hmm.
until I had a friend in college say, "Whoa, let's go talk." And she, laid things out for me. And she listened to me and respected, where I came from and how I felt and what I understood. But she also taught me, you know, what would happen and why it that needed to be in place. And she did it from a place of kindness with me, of being a friend. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, you know, this world isn't a pretty place. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I
it
honestly
can
used
be.
to view it the same as you did in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if it is because of something that is outside your actions, you shouldn't have to, like, nobody would want to do that. That's just punishing the victim more. So,
Thank you, James. He said, I think you did an excellent, thorough reading, both of you, for
thank
both of you.
you.
So thank you. Love that. Thank you.
My
And
only issue, even ever with that, was people who don't protect themselves and knowing that they're not protecting themselves and then go do that. That's where I drew the line with that.
yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
there's so many sick people in the world that do things to young kids and young girls, and those girls should not have to
pay for somebody else's
pay for
crap.
somebody else's. Yeah.
I agree with you 100% there.
So, whew,
Whoa.
I gotta get a bell or something so I can immediately go ding 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 ding. Clear the energy. I'll have to light my Palo really well.
Here we go. We can.
I think it was Amy. Was it you? Has this really cool bell, and it's the shape of an apple, and they
Oh,
shake it, and it rings. I think that was Amy. Was that you? Because I read with Amy and Sharon last week. Yeah, it was. I was on Sharon. I call her Sharon Rule on Strawberry Rhubarb's channel for the first time, and
yeah, I was there
it
with
was
you.
Sharon. Okay,
Well,
and
I
it was
wasn't
so
on
cute.
there, but
A little apple. It was so
so
cute. It's all
cute.
ding ding ding. And Heather, do you have
We're
anything
just
coming up
pulling.
this week?
Sorry, what?
Do you have anything coming up this week on anybody's channel or any videos
I
that you're
just
releasing? Any updates?
I work Wednesday and Thursday, so Friday I do my meditation and then the collective read, which I'm gonna start taking you guys outside on Fridays and just take you like all over where I live because there's so many different places you can go here to
Mm-hmm.
like be outdoors and stuff. And just that, and then Sharon from Strawberry Rhubarb, she did ask me if I wanted to do a live today. I was like, well, I can't do two, so just message me on Messenger, and I would love to. So probably next week I'll be with her.
Yeah,
Just
her and I read really well together. That was, um, it's nice when you find a reader and there's just that flow of similar
mhm.
like you're on the same energy, you know, and even though they might be slightly different cards or sometimes exactly different, you're still touching on other. I mean, it's just wonderful. You know what I mean? There's some
Oh
that you
yeah,
kind of like, oh, this is not kind of thinking to yourself, oh, this is not working, you know, you know, and like, well, maybe, and then there's others that's just like, just like butter, like
hmm
butter on bread. So I'll let you go ahead. Let me pull
okay.
you up
And we're
here.
just doing a message from her for everybody, right?
Um, oh, this is still from Irina, or was this a general message from just for
Or yeah,
everybody?
general message for everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. The thorn, protection, boundaries, clear communication. Like, I feel like that's what we were doing. We were clearly communicating and expressing our feelings, and having an open conversation is so important, because how can we resolve things if we cannot talk about it amicably? Amicably. I can't get that word out, but you know what I mean.
Amicably.
Yeah, I can't get that word out of
I
my
think
mouth.
that's how it is.
Amicable, something like that.
Amicably.
But yeah, don't look at it as a thorn in your side. Look at it at the rose and the innocence, the purity, and the things that can grow from it. And then we have the sacred union, beloved within and outer relationships. So as within, so without, as above, so below, so within, so without. So everything that nurturing the relationship with yourself, as well as the relationships with the people that you have around you, and building that camaraderie and community and unity is what I'm getting again. It's all about self-love, nurturing yourself and nurturing your relationships. So if you nurture yourself, then you're able to, that's reflected outward, so you can help other individuals, is kind of what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have abundance, count your blessings. So I'm getting a gratitude jar, start a gratitude jar, and think of all the blessings you have in your life, and
I
let
love the
those
deer.
bloom. Let those, honestly, I've never done a gratitude jar. And I made a gratitude jar, and I was writing all the things I was thankful for down on little post-it notes and putting them in there. And I realized how much I'm grateful for. And it will help you realize those connections as well. And then life purpose, manifest your dreams. And then being brave, be brave, be the leader you wish you had.
Mm.
And she's got the stars in her hands. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's beautiful.
So get into something that you can do some hands-on work one way or another. Whether it's crafts, whether it's writing, whether it's making food, whatever you can do to use that energy and to utilize it right now will be really important. And then I got Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. The truest guidance is not always the loudest voice. Sometimes fear and doubt yell while love and trust speak. Quietly but continuously from deep within the heart. Trust the truths of your heart even when they seem quieter than the voices of fear within and around you. Listen and apply the soft, steady wisdom felt within the presence and patience and confidence. Sorry.
Now you'll have to send me a link when we're done, or when we're done in the back. I'll write down, or let me know where you got those version of the cards. Because I like the smaller ones, and I like that the writing is on the back.
I
It's just
actually
like
bought them
that's
at a
okay.
metaphysical shop by me.
See, now the ones, huh? Maybe it's a
There's
different deck.
there's one store here that sells the mini decks.
No, it's the same. It's the same deck, huh? Okay, I'll have to look for the minis. Okay. Oh, here's the Tarot Destroyer. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Whoa! 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 Okay.
Blessing and put blessings throughout the year to remind and reflect the good stuff. Yes, she walks in beauty. Definitely.
Okay. If anybody can catch Tarot Destroyer, if they come back up again, I block them. But if someone can, yeah, this is wonderful.
All the freaks are out tonight.
Ooh, we're subhuman garbage. Well, but you know what happens with garbage? Garbage, when it gets into the ground, it fertilizes it and allows things to grow. So there.
Everything you say about us is a reflection of yourself. So
Yeah, that's all I can say. Are you done with your lovely
yeah,
cards?
go ahead and put yourself in the hot seat, love.
Woo! I didn't start saying that until Ron got me started saying that. So, ooh, these new cards. Oh, I just love that I got these. I was wondering, like, oh no, did I do the right thing by spending money? Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You
So,
deserved it.
so this card here, the collective field is impacting you. Unseen forces in action. And the question is, how can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? So that's this card here. And it's basically how, well, the way you can do that. I haven't read the book yet. I'm going by my first intuitive with these cards. That's how I like to connect with my cards. First is intuitively. Um, like everything that's going on now, there's so much of this negative energy. Sometimes the positive can be overwhelming too. High vibration, low vibration. Sometimes all of it can get to be too much. So I think it's important to remember that we ground ourselves, and however it is that we do that, going, if you're able to go outside and put your feet on the ground and ground and connect with Mother Earth, if it's, holding some crystals in your hand, um, or just even sitting in silence with music, or just with yourself, and just allowing those feelings to come up, feel them momently, and then however you see spirit and however you connect with your higher self and your power, just give those energies and those emotions over to them, or to, like, if you're outside, give them to Mother Earth, where she can take those energies and transmute them and put them into something positive and healing that could continue to make the earth grow. And so, control the situation, just letting go and going with the flow. Just kind of not accepting something for as it is and saying, well, but just acknowledging whatever those feelings are or what the situation is, and saying, okay, I will do what I can to be able to see what the situation is trying to teach me. And if I don't have a clear answer right now, then give that frustration, those negative energies, um, to, like, Mother Earth, or into a prayer, or, ask your guides to help you release them. And that can be also through music, chanting, turning on the radio, singing, doing artwork, knitting, yarning, beading. I mean, I've done it all, and it's all very grounding, is very focusing. And when you focus, and when people say just ground, you're thinking just saying energy down, but when you ground and you meditate, you actually get to feel the sense of your heartbeat. You start taking slower and deeper breaths. You start feeling the natural rhythm. And there we go again with the rhythm of your body, your energy, and being able to put that and say, okay, I surrender. I'm just going to go with the flow and know that the situation will take care of itself. And I will be presented with um, solutions to whatever the problem or the obstacle is. And then this other card I got is, what is has no bearing on what will be. What does your ideal life look like and feel like? And there, that's again focusing on, the deep breathing, the grounding, allowing, sitting with yourself, and allowing what you will accept. Um, it says, what does your ideal life look like? And just like with these ladies tonight, at that time, at that moment, they were doing what their life purpose was to do, or what at that time was the most important thing to them. And so, take time in your meditation and focus on, what is it that I want to do with my life? What types of feelings I want to feel more every day? Like writing the gratitude. This is what I'm grateful for. And you put that in there. And then along with that, you can also write, this is what I'm grateful for. and this is what I am striving for, and put things that you would like to bring into your life. More happiness, and even going in and journaling. Well, what would that be? What brings me joy? And for me, this feels a lot like um, how she's just kind of falling. She's connecting with the cycles of her emotions of her life, and then this beautiful circle of life. It's just kind of like falling through there and just allowing yourself just to drift and drop and get in touch with that sacred spot that's within your soul. And then anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. And this continues with the other cards. What is your discomfort trying to free you from? So when you feel um, those emotions that are bringing you down or keeping you from what you want to bring into your life, just to remember that these moments are gifts. They're showing us a reflection of what is going on within us and how we can release that. And I think that's what all three cards are saying, is to learning how to go within, get in touch with the cycles of our bodies, our breathing. Deep breathing is so important. That's like my number one coping skill before I even do art, because I can't even focus on my art unless I deep breathe if I'm too anxious. And that's by deep breathing, you get in touch with your soul, your higher power, and in the earth. And I think I might be going off on a tangent here, rambling. I don't mean to,
No, you're
but
fine.
I just want to make sure that I'm trying
As
to.
a person who has had really, like, you wouldn't even recognize me 5 years ago. I was such a basket case. My anxiety, I have debilitating PTSD, which I've overcome it. I'm not debilitated by it anymore. I used to be. It took me focusing my mind and putting the effort in to change that. And I had to, honestly, meditation changed my life. If you can listen to music, if you can go outside, if you can do artwork, whatever you can do when you're feeling those anxious moments, like if you knit, that is very grounding because it's giving you an energy focus so you can process.
Yep.
So breathing is extremely important if you have anxiety. 3 deep
Yes.
breaths. Just step back and take 3 deep breaths. That usually can do it. 3 to 5 breaths. Just,
Hmm. And
'cause
then
that's your
really.
prana, that's your life force.
Hmm. Yep. And then once you get those breaths in, then you can feel that natural rhythm coming back to you. And then, like what you said with the knitting, I've done beading, knitting, different ways of, and when you move and like playing an instrument, or like with the knitting or the sewing. My sister used to do incredibly beautiful embroidery work. Just using the being mindful of the colors that you're using, and just learning how to. Once you get used to knowing how to use a needle, um, whether it's for knitting or for crocheting, you find that natural rhythm, and you find a lot of times that you're breathing along with it. It becomes,
Mhm.
it's like magic. You're
It
connecting.
synchronizes.
Yes, it's
And
that
that's funny because
natural
I was
rhythm
talking about
between your
doing
soul.
something with your hands.
Yep.
That's what I was talking about. It's something because we have energy centers in the palms of our hands and our feet. So that's so interesting. I haven't quite put that all together. I'm gonna have to like process this whole video and watch it myself just so I can like remember what we're talking about.
Yeah, Kristen. Sometimes meditation for me, some days now are hard because of certain medications and things that go on. But if you can get even like a drawing, like a coloring book for adults, and just pick colors and just, that's a form of meditation, because when you're doing that, you become so in tuned and focus on what you're doing. You'll notice that, oh, I'm breathing. You become anything creative, something that has your connecting your breathing with your hands, whatever it is that you're doing, even gardening, that's a form of meditation. It doesn't mean sitting in a lotus position or sitting really still and not thinking about anything. Because before I was taught, clear, still surface of a that's that's ridiculous. And most people cannot do that. And then that deters people from meditating because they think they have to, you know, and oh, so she has ADHD, and so if you got that movement, then do something that's like
Dancing.
gardening, painting, dancing. That would
Dancing would
become
be
your
really good.
meditation.
Swimming, same
Mm,
thing.
yep. And you're in the water and you're connecting with that that nurturing mother sensation, like being in the womb with water. I got to go with my sisters on Sunday. It was only for about maybe 15 minutes before the kids started jumping in, but I got to be able to get in that water for the first time in like 3 years. And just the feeling of just diving under and feeling that water just surrounding me. When I came out, I just felt cleansed. I felt calm. I felt relaxed. I felt refreshed. So, swimming, the arts, getting in the garden, getting in the dirt, or so whatever takes your energy and you create something with it. Um, that's a great way of meditation. It really is. Yes, active meditation.
Hmm.
Everyone thinks that meditation has to be, in a. For some
Nope.
people, that's how they meditate. For others, they have to, for them, that's the way they meditate. They have to feel it, they have to be moving in it, and that's where they get in the zone. We each get into the zone in a different way.
That's why I take a lot of walks and stuff like that myself, because I take no phone, I take nothing with me, and just take a walk
Yep.
and just enjoy the scenery, enjoy what's around you, enjoy the connection with yourself. That's the most important relationship, is the one with yourself.
hmm When the weather's nice here, we drive 5 minutes or so to a park from here. We're right near the Niagara River off of Erie, and we just set up our chairs underneath the shade of a tree, and with listening to the waves, with feeling the breeze coming off, watching the butterflies, the birds. I have a sketchbook that I play around with, some just loose paints, and just feeling that connection and just doing that is enough. Nature really is the best medicine, you know, for our ailments. I mean, everything that we need to survive and to heal with and to thrive on is on this planet. And we just need to get back in touch with that to be able to start, to healing ourselves. Hi, Marcia. I just saw you pop in. Hello. Yeah, and vacuuming. No kidding. It was active meditation for her and it got her into the zone. And then
Hmm.
a lot of times you'll get tired. You'll feel, I know for me, if I get tired out, and I go and I take a bath and I'm like, okay, I did something. I got all that energy out. Now I can relax and I'll go and I'll have a good night's sleep. So it doesn't matter whatever it is that you do, you know, just
My guys are
be
saying
mindful.
burp, saying have a burping contest.
Uh, I had there
Release
was this
that
girl.
energy.
There was this girl in my. I still remember her to this day. She, in my senior class in high school, in my productions group, her and this other girl would have belching contests and they would do the whole damn alphabet synchron and right after the other, and I'm like, are you, and they thought that was the greatest thing. I'm just kind of like looking at them, but now I can look back and laugh. I mean, so don't worry about, you know yeah, Yolanda, was it Yolanda McCrae? I know her last name was McCrae. She would just be like a b, I mean, she would just, it was
See,
yeah,
it's funny and it makes you laugh.
yeah,
So, like, honestly,
and
just
laughter
laugh
really
at
helps.
it. Like, my mom told all my boy cousins I can burp louder than all of them, and I'm a tiny little thing, and I
Yeah.
can outbeat my boy cousins.
And Amy, just what she was saying when she listened to songs from her teens, on my way home yesterday, was it
Nope.
yesterday or the day before? Cameo. freshman year in high school, that song, remember the song Word Up? It was just like I was immediately freshman year in high school. I'm in the quarters with my friend and we're going, ow, word up, up, up. I mean, it was just I was that, 16-year-old again, and the memories and the laughter and all that just came flooding back, and it was just like, oh my god. If we could just develop a time machine where you don't interact with people, but I could just go back to certain instances so I could just stand there and watch that, again, and laugh, and experience that. Oh, that would make me so happy. That was
You
eighth
got
grade
a
for you.
song playing in my head now, but it's a different one. It has the word "word up" on it, but it's not the same song.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, yeah.
That's so
When
funny.
MTV still played music videos.
Hey, I was singing stuff from my high school years today. I had it came on my list and I was singing it. And I was actually and then I was listening to Cyndi Lauper, Manic Monday. It's another manic
No,
Monday.
that's the Bangles.
Okay,
That's
the
the
Bangles. I
Bangles.
always confuse them for some reason. I always mix them up, but I love Cyndi Lauper too. That's
Hmm.
probably why.
Yeah.
And Belinda Carlisle.
Oh my God. I just, if anybody in chat loves the Go-Go's like I did growing up, when you're a little girl, you're like, oh, they're so sweet. I want to be their friend. You have no idea, and you get older and they're like, they did what? I watched, there's a documentary they put out. They worked together on a documentary. It was released like 2 years ago. I rented it to watch on Prime. And I'm just like, I knew these girls had issues, but oh my God. Did you know that Gina and the drummer and Jane Whelan, the rhythm guitarist, actually dated for a while? I had no idea. And they had the squeaky clean, happy-go-lucky, image. And they were like, Charlotte was doing heroin, they were doing coke, they were getting drunk, they were having guys in the hallways video record. I mean, all this stuff, and I'm like,
Oh wow.
my whole little girl world came crashing down. But then I was
Your
like, you
old
know what?
shattered.
But still, I look back and I love them. I got to see them at least once in concert before they stop. But yeah, it's just like mind blowing, these documentaries. Let me tell you, so sweet. I can
Not
imagine what.
so sweet.
No, but it
Was
shows
it
for all the.
a lady on the streets and a freak in the sheets?
Oh my God, yeah, that was from yeah, by Usher. Yeah, Ludacris said that. We want a woman in the streets, but a freak in the bed saying yeah. Yep, I remember that. I'm like, that's nice.
Oh,
Oh, back when MTV was MTV. Yes, the Go Go's. We got to be.
MTV
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
all of them.
trash.
Yeah, there's nothing. The last time I heard, they play videos for maybe a couple of hours, the same ones in the morning, and then they have just all that reality crap. You know. But yeah, I remember the good old
Yeah.
days.
That's why I stopped watching MTV. I'm like, this is not even music, it's just
V-
drama. And
VH1 too. They used to play nothing but music videos, and now, you know,
VH1 doesn't anymore either. Oh my gosh.
no, it's a long time. Yeah, Duran Duran. Oh, yeah. Even I learned from an early on age that they, for a while, I was like, ooh. But yeah, but Duran Duran, they're still good. And you know who does not get enough credit? And they just released a movie, a documentary on their career together as well as Aha. They are still together. A lot of people don't realize that because American music won't play them. They are some of the most beautiful songwriters and their mature works over the years. Oh, I just absolutely love, their music. And Morton's voice is still that same beautiful voice that he had back then. And watching that documentary also kind of made me a little sad because, how they fight and everything, but yet they're still together because they know that when they do get together, they still create good music.
Hmm.
So it's like that family that just can't stand each other, but when they get on stage and the music starts playing and it starts flowing, You wouldn't know it.
It's magic.
Hmm. Oh
That's
boy.
too funny.
One of these days we just have to come on live and talk about music videos and stuff. I mean, I love chats like this,
Me
you know.
too.
I love doing cards, but just sitting and talking about stuff, especially music. Um, yeah. I mean, I
It's just
still
funny because they wouldn't let Bowie sing in America that one song. I remember I was watching a documentary on here. I've watched a lot of stuff on David Bowie.
which which one was
It's
that?
like it's a I can't remember the song. My husband listens to it all the time, but he's talking about he picked up like a hitchhiker and he thought it was a girl, but it was a he, not a she. And he
Was
like
that this? What?
realizes
Wait a minute. Was that the song Lola, or was it a Bowie song? Because I know that song. Because he thought Lola was a girl
"Mm,
until they found out.
it's Bowie. It's
Was that
Bowie.
another
There's a
Bowie?
song
Yeah.
that Bowie did. I'd have to look it up and tell you, but
Oh yeah, Bowie
I was
explored everything. That was
he
a life
pushed every
lived.
limit.
That was definitely a life lived. Whether you approved or disapproved, he did not let anything get in the
Nope.
way of exploring everything that life had to offer him and Freddie Mercury. It's too bad we lost Freddie early. I could just imagine. Yep,
Mhm.
Wham. Tears for Fears are still together. I think they actually start going on tour and they might be releasing a new album this year. Yeah, Aha's got like I can't tell you how many albums, and it's not all like the Take on Me ones because they got overplayed so much in that image in that style that when they wanted to mature their music and expand more and into outside of that heavy pop, nobody wanted to play them. And but they're still popular in Europe and in their own country. And Chile, of all places, Chile loves them. Stadiums, they still, but America, they really treat musicians and bands and stuff awful. Really, they do.
See, the last concert I went to, who was it? Oh my gosh. I want to say it's Stain or something like that, but it was Stain and Corn. Good
Um,
concert. Really good concert.
I wish right now Metallica is going on tour and their opening act is Greta Van Fleet. And they're coming to Buffalo. And I'm like, why now? And I don't have the. I haven't seen Metallica since the '91 tour with Guns N' Roses, and I love Greta Van Fleet. If anybody doesn't know who Greta Van Fleet is, go check them out. They are young 20-year-old guys bringing back the classic stadium rock. They got the sounds of Zeppelin, of the Allman Brothers, and all these bands. And this guy's voice is just the way he manipulates it. It's just so incredible. And Robert Plant said in an interview, "What do you think about Greta Van Fleet?" And he goes, that guy's got a pretty little voice." I mean, I mean, just what he can do with it, and it's so nice to see these some of these younger bands coming out, bringing back the days of before all the voiceovers and all the through voice machine boxes and everything. When you actually played live, you didn't lip sync. You were in the studio. I mean, it was raw, real music. And some of these bands are starting to come back out, and I love it. And Greta Van Fleet, and I'll write that in here in case nobody knows how to spell it. um, they're from actually, Amy, I believe they're from Michigan. So Amy, you may have heard them. Last concert was Def Leppard. Boy, what was my last concert? Um, wow. Actually, I think my last concert was the Go Go's when they came to Niagara Falls, the casino here, and that was back in 2015. I want to say 2014, and I think that was the last concert that I went to. Yeah, and Garbage was here the other day. I would have loved to have seen Shirley Manson live, but
So
she's not
funny
here.
you love Metallica too, because I have like buy Metallica shirts because I love their band. It's so good.
Yeah, Metallica's amazing. I would love to see them one more time.
I want to see them live. That's if I get to see anybody. That's one band I'd really love to see.
And now people are going to be like, say what? But also, I love all different types of music, mostly, well, except for rap and hip hop. That's, and not super big on country. But I still love the Backstreet Boys, and I've never gotten to see them in concert. And they're actually coming to Darien Lake this summer. And
So
it's
are
like,
they still together?
oh
Backstreet Boys?
yeah, oh yeah, they never Kevin took a break, but the guys, they've still been recording over the years, and their last album actually was done really well. They got a different producer this time, and they actually went to number one, and they were just about
Wow.
to go on tour when the COVID shut down. And so I guess they're starting to pick up again, and they're going to be here. And oh my God, I almost saw them in when I was living in Boston in 2000. My boyfriend at the time got us tickets, and the day before our concert is the is was when AJ had to go into rehab because he was really bad on coke and alcohol, and I
Oh.
came this close. But I love them. I love to dance. Their music makes me happy. They make me feel good. It brings back good memories. And Nick Carter was always my favorite, so I would still like to, see them just once. Just once. That would be nice. So that's
Is it
my
your
pick.
one exception
What?
to your
Huh?
marriage? You're one. Have you ever heard people say that? Is it if you met this person, it's a free pass? Is it your one?
No, he's actually he's married to this woman. I don't know if you guys saw when Nick was on Dancing with the Stars. His him and his partner were wonderful, and he did this one specific routine. He worked with his partner, and it was for his wife. And when he was done, he went right up to her, got on his knees, and kissed her hand. I
Oh,
mean, he is in, and he came back. He was in a dark place as well, and he came back, and he's got two kids now. He's absolutely in love with his wife, and I'm just happy to see all the guys now clean, happy with their families and everything. But I would love to see them in concert. That's always my, you know, one of the bands that I've never been able to see that I would love
I
to
just
see.
had to make you blush, Heather.
Huh?
I just had to make you blush.
I mean, I saw my friend Christine, and her and I actually, oh God, when the Millennium Tour was out, we were on that phone because we got the tickets, and of course, it was all okay. Whoever, this number gets called. If you're anything past this number, no tickets for you. And of course, the one wristband that I got, I was out of luck. And so when we were at work, when the boss wasn't around, Christine and I were hitting that phone every time the radio played one of the songs, trying to get. So we went to the hotel twice, and we actually said hello to AJ. AJ saw us. He was really nice. He waved and said hi to us. Um, we saw Howie coming inside of the building. We saw Brian coming in, but Christine's favorite was Kevin. We didn't get to see him, and of course, I didn't get to see Nick because I guess he had gotten food poisoning. But they were probably drunk or something or whatever. But anyway, so but yeah. Oh yeah, I have stories. I almost got arrested for trying to get into a hotel to see Mark Slaughter. If anybody remembers the band Slaughter from the early 90s, the heavy metal band. I was willing to do anything and everything
I
for
would
this.
go to jail for that.
I was head over heels for this guy, and we snuck back in, and we got busted in the ladies room because we were trying to figure out how we were going to get up there, and the security guard found us again, and we came oh my, if I had gotten arrested, my parents would have killed me. Oh my God.
Like you sit in jail.
Oh, but yeah. Now, Kristen, I don't know who John Berthnell is. What band is he with, or what type of music? I don't know who that is. Oh, Amy said, "Wow, everybody, our power just went out. Oops." Groupie stories. I'm not. I was. Oh, I was this close. You know who we did see, and my friend was like, "Oh, let's talk to them." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." It's because Slaughter was touring with Poison, and we saw Brett Michaels and Bobby Dahl out in the parking lot, and Kelly was like, "Brad," and they turned around, and I was like, "No, no, don't call them over here." Yeah, memories,
Memories.
memories, all alone in the moonlight. Yeah, but
Good
yeah,
times, right?
yeah, good
See,
times.
focus on what you're grateful for. Good times.
And Amy, I got to see Def Leppard 3 rows from the stage during their Adrenalize tour, and they all acknowledged me, especially because I was a drummer at that time, and Rick was my idol. I mean, with the one arm, and and I had made a sign, and he even smiled and acknowledged it. All the guys smiled and waved at me. It was a blast. I will never forget that. Never forget that. And Queensryche, oh my God, they were so good in the 80s and late 90s, in the early 90s. Their concerts were phenomenal. I don't know if you've ever heard of Queensryche, but Jeff Tate's voice back then, oh my God. Jet City Woman. Yeah, sorry. Let's see if I'm so for. I don't know. You might have. Yeah, you were. Maybe you were 10. Well, let's see. I was 20. So you would have been 10. So you might not have known about the heavy metal bands, the hair bands, too much at that point.
I didn't start listening to metal until I got a little older. Like I always like 9 Inch Nails and
Oh
like some
yeah,
of the other groups, but I listen
definitely.
to a lot
Pretty
of
Hate Machine.
hip hop and R&B. I listen to a lot of rap. I cannot listen to it. It's too angry. But that tells you where I
I like
was
the
at.
old school. I like the old school, the fun stuff that
Yeah,
came
before it
out,
got too crazy.
becoming violent. And Kala
Yeah.
Lily, I love this. Running all over London looking for Jimmy Page.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. Bye, Kristen. It was fun.
I know I probably should go too. I gotta still make dinner. But
Yeah, I got to take my. Oh, it's 10:30. Oh, shit.
yes.
Time for my medication, my
Yeah.
nighty nights. So, all right. Thank you again, Heather, especially with the mix up. I'm going to
No,
learn
no
how to
worries.
do the time right. And if you want to
It's
host
okay.
one, let me know, and I'll join you on your channel if you want to switch it up and
Yeah.
host it on
I'm gonna
yours
have to
one
play
night.
with
So,
StreamYard, so maybe I can have you like help me out, make sure I get it right. I think I got it down, but still, I want to make sure I can still get into my own life.
oh, I got you. Yeah, it took me a
But
while.
yeah, let's play with that because I want to have you on. I want to have Sharon on. I want to have Allie on from Heart and Soul. Is it Heart and Soul Connected? Yeah, Heart and Soul Connected.
Yes. Oh yeah, I love Allie. She's really nice.
There's so many people I want to have on. I just need to get that down so I can have you guys like, oh, come on and like have some fun. We'll have a good time. Plus, we need to do this again where we can just like chat about music and just everything
Hmm.
with everybody.
There was someone just recommended. Oh, Aaliyah. Maybe we can both do Aaliyah some night, and then use
Yes,
the left after hour to talk about different music. At that time, her time, or what songs we like, because that was one song that she did when she was in that Jet Li movie. Um, when you fall, you gotta pick up yourself and dust yourself off. I loved that song. I
dust yourself off and try again.
Yep, she was
I
in
know
that
exactly.
movie.
I know all her music. Like she's one of my
Oh,
favorite
really?
artists.
Okay. Yeah, it's too bad. They knew that that plane was too heavy. They should not have taken off, but it's over. It's done with. You know,
Yep,
you can't
can't
change
change
time.
it.
Nope. Alrighty. Oh, I
All
didn't
right.
know, Ron, you were still in there. Mwah. Bye,
Love you
Heather. Bye,
guys.
everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yep. Bye.